Good morning. 7:39 a.m. on Friday, June 20th, 2025. I've already been out for my morning walk so I could catch all the morning birds and also before the sun started shining because it gets pretty hot here pretty fast in central Georgia. So this morning I'm going to make Indonesia. Now, if you don't know where Indonesia is, look at a world map. Now, if you're looking at the typical world map that we get in the United States, and let's say here's the United States, go way over to the right and then down, and you will find Indonesia, okay? It's a bunch of islands. Alexa, how many islands make up Indonesia? Alexa, how many islands make up Indonesia? Apparently Alexa's not speaking to me this morning. One more try. Alexa, how many islands make up Indonesia? Okay, it's thousands upon thousands, I know that. I just got done asking Alexa a bazillion questions about coffee production. So, I don't know, maybe she's just worn out, tired of hearing my voice. Anyhow, so Indonesia was first, the first recording of Indonesia was by Marco Polo in the 1200s. Okay, so, how many years ago is that? Like 900 years ago? 800 years ago, and he discovered the islands of Sumatra and a smaller island, and he named them, both of them Java, okay, a smaller one and a larger one. And it turns out that as of today, and for several hundred years at least, the island of Java, or Sumatra, produces over 5% of the world's coffee. So when you get coffee that says it was grown in Indonesia, likely it was on the island of Java, although there are some other islands that grow coffee there too. It's in the coffee zone. If you look at a map, there's a certain latitude around the world. I believe it's 23.5% north and south of the equator, where growing, the climate for growing coffee is often favorable. So, I don't know. Alexa, are you there? Okay, I think Alexa's just shut down, not even lighting up. Oh well, okay. I'm glad I asked all my questions earlier. So, a lot of people say they like coffee from Indonesia. So that's 5% of the world's, coffee production. Brazil produces 45%. I asked Alexa about Colombia. Colombia only produces about 10%. You hear people say, oh, I love Colombian coffee. And weren't the old coffee ads, Juan Valdez with his burro, and his bags of coffee, walking and, picking coffee beans or something. Was that back, in the 1960s or 70s? And, that popularized Colombian coffee, right? Am I right? Somebody tell me. Anyhow, so this morning, anyway, we're going to go back to Master Origins, Nicaragua. No, not Nicaragua. I was going to get that. Sorry, Indonesia. I need my coffee this morning, don't I? Now, this can be made as an espresso or as a lungo, okay? It supposedly has woody notes, or woodsy notes is what it says on the box. And this is produced by, it's really rainy in Indonesia, okay? So they want to get those coffee beans harvested and processed before the rain just, kind of starts ruining things. It could be too much. So while the coffee bean, they take off the coffee cherry, which is like the fleshy part, just like if you ate a cherry, the fruity part that you like to eat. Well, they take that off, and then they go ahead and they dry the coffee bean with the parchment, which is the papery part that's around the seed, with it being, wet, and they just dry it that way. I'm going to read you what it says here. I so much need my coffee, I can't even remember what I read 5 minutes ago. Removing the bean's parchment layer before it's dry. Okay, so they take the parchment off before it's dry, whereas most coffee production, they leave the parchment on and let the bean dry that way. Okay. And, okay, that's an adaptation to the island's humidity and their weather by developing what's called this wet hulling process, where the coffee can dry faster and be safely stored from rains. Okay, next time I'll just read you what the box says instead of giving you a paraphrase of it. You know what? I'm really feeling my need for coffee. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make it as a lungo, and I'm going to taste it black and see if I can detect any woodsy notes. I tend to like coffee with woodsy, cocoa, oak, even tobacco notes to them. See, but again, I'm very influenced by what the package says, and I really try hard to detect what it's, the way it's described, but of course, most of the time, I'm not successful, and if you had given me the cup of coffee and not told me what kind of notes it had, it's likely I wouldn't be able to tell you. I know, I've said this before, but I know there are a lot of people that feel this way and think this way because I've read it in your comments and messages that you sent me. All right, here we go. I don't know. But you know what? I like it with some creamer in it. Okay, so pretty. It just has such character. I want to say that a lot of people will put all sorts of sweet stuff, this syrup and that syrup, and I think that a lot of coffee places these days thrive on that sort of business. But honestly, if you will just step away from all the sweetening and maybe try a few different coffees, like ask the coffee place if they'll make you maybe at least 2 completely different espressos, if they, even have 2 different ones, and try to detect the difference between them. It might help you to begin to appreciate what's in coffee. Now, there are some people who will probably say to me, oh, you're adulterating it by putting in creamer. But honestly, you can still really strongly taste the coffee with just the 1 creamer in it, or probably even 2. Honestly, this is something just invites you to just take a moment and savor it. I'm serious, really. So I've got this thing. This is the last thing I'll show you, and then I'll let you go. So I've got this here, all right? Let me turn around. Okay, this is one of those, it's called a singing bowl, okay, and it's actually still sounding, but I doubt the phone is picking it up. This is one of those things that also invites just relaxing, especially if you're holding it, because you can feel the vibrations too. And then you just listen to the sound, and it's kind of like having a cup of wonderful coffee, because you just kind of sit back and relax. So, okay, I'll just show you real briefly. I know I said that was the last thing. I am getting my dining room cleared up. Hung up my favorite drawing of a heron that I made. And yeah, so I'm making progress. Alrighty, I'll let you go, and I'm gonna go enjoy and savor this.